Listening to a podcast. There are these episodic audio recordings.
I'm familiar with the concept of a podcast. Everyone is.
We have a lot of interesting things to say, so, you know.
Oh, shit. Well, I feel like the conversation we've been having in the last 5 minutes is a lot more interesting than the shit they're talking about on the radio. Are you kidding me? Just moronic commentary and stupid sound effects, and it's just dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, we have voices. We talk about the issues, you know? I feel like we could do a podcast, and it would be a million times better than whatever that drivel was we were listening to.
Without a doubt.
It's the greatest podcast ever.
Isn't it just a nice shot of confidence each week when, let me turn this off.
You know, I saw him down at the State Theater live.
Yeah, you told me that.
A few years ago. Yeah.
Isn't it just kind of a nice shot of confidence, though, every day? The last thing you hear before we go live
is your favorite comedian
Bill Burr
endorsing our show.
Greatest podcast ever. I mean, great, straight from the lips of Bill Burr to your ears, folks. It's the Jeff Dubay Show with Jason Linse. This is episode 13. As you see, we're trying out new venues. This is where it all started. You know, the Four Season Porch at Serenity Village number 9 is where we did our first show. And it is the day after.
We did, right here.
It's a lot of memories. It's all coming rushing back.
We will come on site to a sponsor. Keep in mind.
Absolutely.
Reach out to us. We had some interest, so the sooner the better.
Yeah, including an old employer of mine that I'll talk to you about later up there. But I mean, with our video capabilities, you know, we can certainly showcase what you have going on, bar, restaurant, whatever. This maybe even a construction company, some home improvement stuff, whatever. I mean, we've got the video capabilities, and we're always in the 900 to 1100 range in views per week. So
a lot of watchers and listeners.
Yeah. There's also an audio version of this, if you check it out on Spreaker. But it is Super Bowl Monday, if you will, the day after the Super Bowl.
Hangover Monday for some people.
For some, not for me, not or really for you.
No.
Well,
I had a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't drive.
No, nothing wrong with it.
I had a ride. Sober ride.
That's funny. When you get into the world of recovery, so many people get into just like they start thinking that alcohol in general is just an enemy that you just. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't drink. I haven't had a drink in. I bet it's been 3 years since I've had a drink.
You weren't a big drinker anyway.
So no. I remember having a beer with you at that Irish pub uptown that you like so much.
You didn't finish it either. But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's probably the last time. That was like 2-3 years.
Is that the last time you had a beer?
It might be. I mean, I'm not a drinker. I'm really just not a drinker. But you know, like people in recovery hang out with people, and I mean, you and I watched the Gopher Badger game last year in a bar. You know, I mean,
I drank about 6. You drove. Well, I think you drove. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But you had. I had 6 beers. You had 0 at a bar.
I was drinking waters. It was the game that the Gophers won at Madison. So I mean, yeah, alcohol is not the enemy, people. It's the inability to control it. That's the enemy, and it's also driving.
Some people don't have a good relationship with alcohol.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
some people do.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan Musell. I always mispronounce your last name. Ryan's an old friend of mine. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well.
You must like it. That's all caps and
He's a good
5
dude.
exclamation points.
Very good dude. Very good dude.
Welcome, Ryan.
Yeah. So anyway, Super Bowl Sunday yesterday. I saw what I expected to see in the fourth quarter. I was kind of dumbfounded for the first 3. People were asking me, trying to tap into the great football mind. What do I expect? Who's going to win? And as great as the Niners. Well, who did you like winning? I was
the Niners.
Did you really? See, I was on the Chiefs. And here's where I've gotten burned in the past.
I thought Mahomes would choke.
And he did.
He did.
For 3 quarters,
and
Mahomes
he got the MVP, which we can get to that.
But he did enough. Well, here's the thing. We were talking MVP. Me and my buddies here watching the game. We were talking MVP the whole game. Like, who's this going to be? Nobody has stood out at all. Mm-hmm. I mean,
quarterback play was nothing special.
When it was 20-10, Garoppolo was probably the MVP.
Yeah.
And then he, looking back, is one of the biggest reasons the Niners lost this football game. So, so many different elements and things to talk about here. But when I was breaking this game down, obviously, I love the Niners defense. The Niners defense is elite. It is just constant beast mode. They're fantastic. However, I believe that Patrick Mahomes is the single most electric entity offensively in the National Football League. With all due respect to Lamar Jackson, there's nobody. Maybe, but before it's all said and done, maybe. And I just didn't think there's any way to stop him. And you look at the playoff games. Now, granted, that was against Houston and Tennessee. And Houston and Tennessee were not great teams. Can't say they're pretty easy road to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they did.
At home. But nonetheless, I mean, being down by 20 points in the first game and 10 points twice in the second game didn't affect him. Flip a switch. Here we go.
Wasn't it 24?
Well, it might have been. Whatever it was.
In one of the games.
Yeah, okay. Against Houston was, I thought it was 20, 24, whatever. Doesn't matter. I mean, the bottom line is in each game, you could see Mahomes. He could flip a switch and just go. Just boom. At any time. Now, we knew we wouldn't have it that easy against the Niners. And the Niners do have a very good defense, and they do deserve credit for 3.5 quarters of good football, I guess. But watching the game, I was more drawn to Mahomes's just deer in the headlights approach, not approach, but he just looked lost. He looked scared. He looked tentative. Look at that interception he threw. He rolled out of the pocket to the right, and he had Tyreek Hill just was going to drift into that little gap that Aikman pointed out with the telestrator, and he just lobbed a little soft gimme into the linebacker's belly. I mean, I think in the fourth quarter when it was 20-10, and the Chiefs are finally showing signs of life. It's a 3rd and short, and he's got Tyreek Hill on a gimme slant, like a 5-yard slant, just a gimme, and he puts it 2 yards behind him, behind him, and it's off the arm, and it's a pick.
It's a pick, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just the Niners have a great defense, but Patrick Mahomes, sometimes we forget, what's he, 21? I mean, 22?
24 years old.
Oh, is he 24? Well, still, nonetheless, 3rd year, still early on in the career.
September, I think.
Obviously, the biggest game of his career. I mean, the guy played college football at Texas Tech, so it wasn't exactly, he wasn't exactly, in the CFP every year or anything like that. So, this was a huge moment for him in his career, and I'm gonna say right now that mentally, emotionally, maturity-wise, he might not have been quite ready for it, just based on what I saw in the first 3 quarters. With all due respect to a great Niners defense, Mahomes just didn't look like Mahomes. Now, the whole thing changed on one play. Yeah, Mahomes' confidence, the game, everything just completely flipped on one play. It's 20-10. It's the fourth quarter. There's like 6.5 minutes left. It's 3rd and 15.
TikTok time.
Yeah, and it's 3rd and 15.
Yeah,
and the Chiefs' offense has shown really no sign of any life. I mean, they had the drive prior where they turned it over. Yeah. But at that point, at 3rd and 15, I'm sensing no confidence in this Kansas City offense. I don't believe in him at that point, which is saying a lot because I believed in him quite a bit going into the game. Sure. I would have laid the 1.5 all day long. Oh, yeah. But anyway, Tyreek Hill gets loose, and I don't know how. I mean, how does Tyreek Hill get that open? But Mahomes just flings it for 50 yards, whatever the hell it was, for a big first down. And a few plays later, they're in the end zone to Kelsey, and after that, Mahomes was Mahomes again. Once you made that pass,
if you're a 49ers,
yes.
As a Vikings fan, you know what 49ers fans feel like after that 3rd and 15
endorsement.
Coca-Cola,
Cherry Zero.
Essential everyday drinking water.
Yeah, that stuff will kill you.
Drinking.
I used to be the spokesperson for Sam Adams in this market, in this region. And Jim
told me that. It's a guy who didn't drink beer.
Jim Cook. Well, I used to drink beer. Jim Cook was Sam Adams, the brewer. No, it's great.
Awesome.
It's great. Jim Cook was the brewer of Sam Adams. He would come up to the Twin Cities a couple times a year, and we'd have him in studio. And he'd have first they'd have like a meeting in the conference room. And, there'd be bottles of water. It'd be like 9 a.m. And he would say, no, fish piss in that stuff. And he would confiscate all the waters and pass out beers. Fish, yeah, so that stuff will kill you, bro. Please. And Jim Cook, again, the brewer, Sam Adams.
Is he still the brewer?
Yeah, dude, yeah. And he said, the least important thing is an element of any beer?
Water.
The water. He said, all these Coors ads and all this Mountain Fresh Spring, blah, blah, blah. He said, I could brew an award-winning beer out of a toilet. So... Don't buy into all that hype, all that Mountain Spring.
He probably doesn't want you repeating that publicly because people are going to start thinking they're brewing. You don't see.
But anyway,
let's get back to football.
Yeah, back to the Super Bowl.
Well, you get my point. Is that you're a 49ers fan? It's over at 3rd and 15. You're going to win a Super Bowl. Oh yeah. Now they have plenty, but and then it goes south in a hurry
instantly. And as soon as Mahomes hits Tyreek Hill on that play, he's a different quarterback. Now Mahomes is Mahomes again. Yep. He's confident. He's feeling good. It's just he's a different guy, and they get the ball back. I mean, how about the fact that it's 20-10, and that's a very shaky table. Every time you do that, everything moves. This is on the fly production, folks. But it's at 20-10. They go down the field and they throw a pick. I mean, that's like middle of the fourth quarter, and it's 20-10, and they still, despite that turnover, despite all their failures, they still score 31 and they win going away. Yeah. So that tells you how they can flip that switch. I mean, it really can be easy for them. 31-20. Yeah. So it was still an under. It was barely an under.
Don't you think Williams should have got the MVP? 104 yards rushing. Don't you give it to the 100-yard rusher who seals the deal with that final touchdown versus a 2-pick choke artist in the first half? I'm being a little harsh on him, but because he did come back and redeem himself.
They used to determine MVP by media vote. Now is it a fan vote? I mean, there was some sort of nonsense.
That's a good question. I thought you'd know the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that stuff in the bottom of the screen. Vote for the MVP. I'm like, What do you want people like us voting for MVP for? You know how many people are drunk watching that game?
Yeah, right. That's the worst people.
I hope that doesn't affect. Maybe it's just like a third of the vote or something. A third of the.
It factors somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. You typically get the fans involved. It goes sideways in a hurry, especially drunk fans. So anyway, the Chiefs do win. Like I said, had I been in Vegas, had I been a betting man, I would have absolutely been the Chiefs given the 1.5, and I would have absolutely had an aneurysm for 3.5 quarters. I don't gamble because I'm a terrible gambler. And when I say terrible, I don't mean I have a terrible habit. I mean I'm just bad at it. I lose, and yeah, we talk about this all the time. People think because you know sports, you should be able to know sports gambling. Complete opposite. Vegas builds casinos based on the rube who watches 8 games a week and thinks he can go to Vegas and win. Sports betting has nothing to do with sports. No. It has to do with percentages and odds and stats and probability and trends and I told you this before. The best gambler I've ever known. I don't know if I'd call him a professional gambler because he actually has a real job. No, he's an insurance actuary. Because he understands numbers and he can see trends and he can see where okay, this is a bad number. This is not what the number should be.
And he still probably lost more than he won.
Probably, but he's really good at horses. But Vegas loves the guy who sits in his couch with a beer and a bag of Doritos and thinks, I know football.
Broncos will cover, no problem.
They love that guy. Yeah. They love that guy. They think that guy thinks, oh God, I know what's going to happen. Okay, if I was in Vegas, man, I wouldn't even have a job. I wouldn't need a job. Whatever, dude. If you were in Vegas, you'd probably be unemployed because you'd be in the gutter. So you're half right.
Did you ever get into online poker back in the day? See, I never did either.
No, I don't like poker.
Do you remember like 20 years ago? That was the thing. They shut it down.
You know what I don't like? Games that require a lot of thought. It's like I don't want to think when I'm playing a game. I never wanted to learn how to play chess. And I've been in jail. Clearly, I've been in jail more than once. Chess is very popular in jail. Chess would help you pass time in jail. Card games. I don't want to think that hard when I'm playing a game. I mean, I made the mistake one time in Washington County Jail of getting in a game of Risk with a really angry Somali guy. The worst 3 hours of my life. I'll never get those 3 hours back. Really, just
like if you would have quit in the middle, he'd have fucking shivved you or something.
Oh, exactly. And then we had to stop in the middle for him to pray. He threw a towel on the ground and did the whole thing.
Pull out a shank.
It's like it was weird. I felt like I was defending the honor of.
Well, you got ADD, so a 3 hour game's not going to do it.
But you're trying to kill time in jail. But I mean, don't play Risk with an angry Somali guy. Just life advice, life lessons.
Don't ever ride a car with one either. But anyway,
dude, I've taken a lot of cabs in the last couple of months. Did you see my car out there in the driveway? I got a car out there.
You showed me that last time.
Oh, it's been sitting there for a while. I got to get the brakes fixed.
You haven't even driven it. Have you driven it?
I've driven it down to get some air in the tires. But it's
baby steps.
Yeah, the brakes are not street safe yet, man.
So what do you need? Pads?
I got pads. They're sitting down there on the kitchen table. I just need somebody in my house qualified. There's 2 or 3 guys in here who keep saying, "No, I can do it. I can do it."
Oh, they can't. I know a guy who can do it,
but then nobody does it. And I'm I feel I kind of.
You're gonna have to motivate them with some money.
See, that's what I'm. It
might not take much. 20, 30, 40 bucks.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe right. I can grease the skids. I can grease the skids with that. So anyway, what else should we talk about? I mean, the commercials. I think were overwhelming. The Super Bowl halftime show I thought was garbage.
Well, let's talk about that. I don't know any. I don't have any of the music of any of these Shakira or J-Lo, right?
No, but J-Lo's easy on the eyes.
I like Shakira's 10 times hotter.
Really?
J-Lo.
J-Lo's my type, bro.
Jesus, all right, have at it. So, but I don't know their music.
That's like an Arab thing.
But here's the thing: I don't care what they do, shake their ass. I mean, I'm a dude. That's fine, right? I like that. But do you think that is something that they should be? They always get criticized for it when they're risque like that. Our kids watching the Super Bowl.
Well, right, and they all saw Janet Jackson's boob years ago.
I missed that.
So did I. Yeah. It's unbelievable. I mean, I watch football religiously.
I don't watch the halftime.
And I missed the boob. I missed the boob.
Lately, in the last few years, I've been watching halftime show.
I missed the boob.
Anyway, so you didn't like the halftime show? Why? Garbage?
Well, for one thing, I don't like pop music. I don't like hip-hop, dance club, pop music. These are not...
You want to see Tom Petty or
the Rolling Stones. These are not talented musicians. And the whole thing, by the way, is lip synced. All right. I mean, they turn the mic on for a second for someone to yell, "Hey, Miami!" Whatever.
Not Prince in 2007.
Well, no, but this one was. I mean, if you think those guys with the trombones were really playing the trombones, or do you think Shakira was really playing the electric guitar or the drums? Please. It was just what it was a big, giant, highly produced electric light show with dancing and lip syncing, and that's all it was. There wasn't some great talent on display. It was just a big booty shake. It was almost like a family-oriented type of strip bar.
So once halftime
for both genders,
because
they had the weird dudes with the things.
Yeah. Once the first half ends, that's a big production putting that stage together, right?
Yeah.
I would love it if
after
they're done, the union workers set it up, and then they say, "Fuck it, screw it, sorry, we're striking." and the halftime shows.
That would be a statement for the ages.
Now they got to get fans to help.
That would be a statement for the ages. I wonder if it's the Teamsters.
You thought there was a long delay when the lights went on in New Orleans.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? God, what if they had the Teamsters doing it and they just wanted to just make a stand? Just some surly union of laborers. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
But let me ask you this, Jeff. Everybody watching probably saw the Super Bowl. We saw the Kansas City Chiefs win their second Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
We
all know the first.
They're 2 out of 3, right? Mm-hmm. They lost 2 or lost 1-2. Andy Reid. How do you feel about Andy Reid?
I was actually happy for him, even though I know. And I'm not trying to judge the guy.
I know he's with the Packers. I forgot that.
Well, he's
a coach,
not as a head coach.
No.
But he's
got a ring from them.
Yeah, but I mean, this was his first as a head coach, and he's had a tough go of it. He's had a lot of family issues.
He had McNabb for 5 NFC Championship games.
Well, I mean, and it's a coach the life of a coach of a National Football League team. I mean, there's the time commitment is off the charts, and you're not at home to take care of the things you want to take care of. And he had a couple of sons fall deep into addiction, and
really
one has died of an overdose, and another is in prison. I mean, it's
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
a kid in prison and one dead.
Yes.
Any other kids alive?
I
gotta look that up later. That's too bad.
Yeah. He's had a tough go of it from a family standpoint, and it has to do with those 80 to 100-hour work weeks, I'm sure. So, but he's a guy who it's easy to be happy for. Have you ever seen this? I think I've shown you his punt, pass, and kick thing. It's hilarious. If anybody hasn't seen it,
no.
But you know what? The thing is, we're getting so far removed from punt, pass, and kick that you have to be 50 years old to even remember what it was. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah.
I mean, they did it on like Monday Night Football in the 70s. No,
they used to do punt, pass, and kick back in our day.
Yeah, this was like Monday Night Football in the 70s. They'd have kids from each age group. Yeah. They'd just run up and throw it as far as they could. They'd run up and punt it.
He was one of
yes, and he is in line with kids his own age, and he's like 2 feet taller and 100 pounds heavier than ever. And he won. I mean, you would hope he could kick it farther than the little kid here is the size of his left leg. You have to see it. Folks, if you get a chance, YouTube Andy Reid punt, pass, and kick. It's that easy. It'll pop right up. As a matter of fact, you won't even have to get past the P and punt. And it's hilarious.
Like 50 years ago, and he's 61, so he's like 11 years old. 1970.
Yeah, it was in the 70s. It was in the 70s. Another thing I want to talk about now, due to my requirements here, I'm a resident at Serenity Village. Fantastic place. I will sing its praises to anybody. We're in the house right now, at Serenity Village, in our 4-season porch by the fireplace. It's
very serene.
It really is. It's a fire. I feel like we're in the Butler cabin. I feel like I should put a green jacket on.
Wait till the Masters weekend. We'll do it here on that Monday.
Yeah, it's our own little Butler cabin. But
with the music.
I mean, this place. I've been sober since my relapse now, and love this place. A lot of service opportunities. Great place to live. But there's the but. We had church. We go to church on Sunday nights, and my house had church cleanup duty. So due to some responsibilities, we knew we were going to miss the first quarter of the game. So, we planned ahead. We just DVR'd and watched it in delay. But, I always this is going to be directed straight at all you lunatic fringe,
going on a rant here?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. All these conspiracy theorist nut jobs who think that the United States took down the towers, or think that we didn't land on the moon, or think that that the movie JFK by Oliver Stone is a history lesson rather than a complete fairy tale. All you nut jobs, you don't understand how difficult it is to contain a conspiracy. I mean, to take down the towers would require thousands of people being on it, and for every one of them to keep the secret would be impossible. We couldn't, in this house with like 8 to 10 people. And I knew this was going to happen. We couldn't get through the game without somebody picking up their phone and looking at a score, or getting a call from somebody saying, "Did you see that fourth quarter?" And sure enough, as we're entering,
you couldn't catch up by the. I'm sorry.
Well, no, because people wanted to watch the commercials, and they wanted to watch the halftime. So we're going to be behind the whole time. By the start of the fourth quarter, I knew the Chiefs won, and I knew it was going to happen. I mean,
oh God,
when we when we found out we were going to miss the first quarter of the game. And we made plans to DVR and we got like these split living rooms. It's like a split level living room. So we have the game going in both. So we had to sync them up because otherwise, like if one TV's 5 seconds ahead.
Right here?
Yeah, I watch right there.
Why can't you tell everybody to shut their phones off?
But yeah, I mean, so I knew that the level of control that we were attempting was going to be tenuous at best. Just for 8 to 10 people to be in a house. We had one guy downstairs who wanted to, he was going to go to work, so he's trying to get the TV forwarded to the fourth quarter. I'm like, come on, bro, we got 8, 10 other people here. And then we had a kid here. His name's Ethan, love him, great kid. But he's on the computer looking up scores and stuff. And then people are picking up their phones, getting text messages.
You need to set
I mean, I made a personal rule. Like you text me during games a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we have like Roku and stuff. We're watching it on, so we're watching things on a slight delay. I'm
watching it.
That's like a fire stick.
Yeah.
It's like a fire stick. So when you're watching it, it's usually a little delayed. So like when you're watching a Gopher basketball game or a Gopher football game, I've made it a rule that I will not touch my phone until we go to commercial break. Yeah. Because too often I'll pick it up and you'll tell me what just happened just before I see it. But now that we're a full quarter behind in the Super Bowl, I absolutely have distanced myself from my phone entirely. So, but I knew going in that the level of control that they were attempting here was just not going to be possible to keep this kind of a secret. But here it is, folks. If 8 or 10 guys watching the Super Bowl together can't keep 1 or 2 guys from getting online and finding out a score or receiving a text, if that secret can't be kept in a house of guys watching a football game, how do you think thousands of people who would have been in on a 9/11 conspiracy can keep a secret of that? Conspiracies are impossible at that level. And then and one of the guys in this house was sitting there telling me that he believes that the U.S. took down the towers, and I wanted to strangle him. I just thought we couldn't even keep the secret of the score of this game.
All right, well, I'll be devil's advocate. A conspiracy only requires 2 people. So,
just
saying.
No, well, that's the literal definition of conspiracy. But if you think it would only take 2 people to plan 9/11, that's literally farcical. That's not
9/11's that's a joke. I don't think very many people believe that. But there are people.
Many.
There are people who believe that Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone, and that's just,
right.
I understand why maybe you could think that, but if you do think that way, read the book Case Closed by Gerald Posner.
That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. And that book actually put me off of conspiracies in general.
You'll like this. I forgot you read that book. So the CC Club bar in one of my hangouts, bartender there, conspiracy guy. But not like crazy whack job, but just kind of like JFK would come up, and finally I'm just like, dude, what's your address? And I ordered him a book and sent it from the bar, technology on my phone.
Awesome. That's
must
awesome.
be $6-7 plus shipping.
Worth
and he read it. He goes, I'll read it. Because I went in the
Did
next
you flip
week.
him?
I went in the next week, and he goes, I got it. And it took him about 3 weeks to read it. So he
did he change his mind?
Yep.
I mean, the Warren Commission was legit. It was filled with extremely professional and intelligent men who thoroughly investigated this thing. But anyway, we live in this conspiracy age where every nut job can write a blog and put it online and make it look like a legitimate article from a legitimate news source. Yeah. And now, granted, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to believe everything I read or hear from CNN, Fox News, New York Times, Washington Post. I mean, there's always going to be spin. I mean, there's always going to be perspective. Nothing's ever going. There's always going to be bias. Nothing's ever going to come from a completely objective viewpoint. But when people want to like further a political agenda with their little Facebook posts, and they link to a story that's written by some ridiculous. It's on some website that you just by knowing the name of it, it's like everybody can put whatever they want out there. And here's the other thing about conspiracies. It's a way for people who are not that smart to think they're smart. It's like, for the first time in my life, I know something you don't know. No, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. I'm still smarter than you.
It's for the people that have Dunning-Kruger effect.
Who, what?
Dunning-Kruger.
See, I don't know. Is he clearly smarter than me? I don't know what that is.
Well, see, Dunning-Kruger effect is when you're too stupid to know you're stupid. So you think you're smart, you're too stupid. I mean, it's basically what you just said.
Yeah, I have a roommate like that.
We have a president like that too.
But didn't you see the commercial? The black lady, he got out of prison. That didn't win you over.
Yeah, wait, isn't that funny? Oh, okay.
A black woman thanking President Trump, though. By the way, how about that?
Hey, listen, it was a great ad for him in his campaign. Yeah. But that's fun.
It is a great ad. Well, I don't know how.
Let's get back real quick. Let me address this. Brian Royce why would Mahomes choke? Has not choked all year, had a special year. Well, again, my take is that when we say he underperformed in the first half.
I thought so. I mean,
so I don't know if he called it a choke, but he looked kind of like the moment. He looked like Cousins.
Yeah, he did.
Like
he looked tentative. He looked scared.
And then he didn't after, like, I think you're right. That one play, all it takes for him is one play, and he's boom. So
I think
I don't know if you technically say choke. He got the MVP, whether he deserved it or not.
Oh, right.
The guy's a special talent. And then Brian says, after last night's game, NFL is going to have TB pass the torch to Mahomes. Who's TB?
Terry Bradshaw?
I guess.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Yeah, by the way, do you think Brady's playing next year? He's playing next year, right? Is he playing with
He might, Boston? But I don't care. He's not any good anymore. He's not good anymore. I don't believe he's good anymore. Would you take him on the Vikings next year? No.
You take Cousins.
I take Cousins.
Right.
I take Cousins. I think Brady is worthless to any team other than New England right now. I don't think he's.
You get him out of that system, and he might be exposed a little more because of his age.
I think at this point he's an average quarterback. At this point in his career, he's a middle of the road quarterback, and he's got the system familiarity and the sentiment in New England. Other than that, I don't think he's.
Are you saying that you have kept Jimmy G?
Well, I mean that's you'd have to think about that. Right. I mean that's although how good is Garoppolo? And the reason I liked the Chiefs so much over the Niners going into this game was the fact that I trusted Mahomes way more than Garoppolo. It's hard to be too critical of a guy like Garoppolo. What did he throw? 9 passes against Green Bay, 8 or 9, and he only threw like 15 against us.
Had to throw.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean,
how many? What was his numbers last time?
I mean, they were good. Yeah. I mean, into the fourth quarter, he was like 18 out of 21. But when they needed, like, he had 2 or 3 drives where he just came up empty. When the Chiefs scored to make it 2017, okay, Jimmy G, here's a big moment for you. Yep. Can you take the team down the field, take some clock off, and maybe even put some points on the board? And he couldn't. Then all of a sudden they fall behind 24-20 on a touchdown that I don't think was a touchdown either, by the way. But it was too close to overturn.
That was.
But at 24-20, here's another chance for you, Jimmy G. Can you do it? And he had Emmanuel Sanders. Open for a game-winning touchdown, and he missed him pretty badly.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had 2 or 3 drives there in the fourth quarter where he had a chance to either put this game away or to recapture the game that had slipped away, and it didn't happen. And by the way, got to point out here too, Shanahan was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons in the Super Bowl that they blew against the Patriots. So this guy has had 2 horrific come-from-ahead defeats in the Super Bowl. Once as a coordinator, now once as a head coach. And I'm not putting it all on him. I'm actually saying this out of sympathy for him. I mean, I might feel bad for Marv Levy. I feel bad for Bud Grant. But Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan has had 2 in his back pocket and let them both get away.
Yeah. How about the Niners arguably kind of getting screwed by not getting delay of game penalty?
Kind of, yeah. But you know what?
That was 0 for a second.
Well, they've explained, and that's why it could have been a penalty because it was for a second. And when I've heard commentators in game explain this, it's not a matter of the clock getting to 0 because the clock gets to 0 frequently before snaps.
Yeah.
What the referees will do is that the clock will get to 0 and then they'll stop and turn their head to the snap, and if they see them snap it, they get a second break.
So they do get a little bit extra time.
They do, for some reason.
Okay,
I don't know why. There are 2 things that don't make sense to me. Why it's not delay a game and the clock hits 0, and why players like defensive ends and receivers, slot receivers, are never called for lining up off sides. And I know the little lines they superimpose on the field during the broadcast are not official, but they're pretty good. And I mean, defensive ends, like I saw a play yesterday where a slot receiver's foot was beyond a defensive end's hand, which means one of them must be offsides, if not both.
Right.
I mean, there's no way not one of them is. I mean, I bet a half dozen times a game I'm seeing a guy line up, and back in the day, the neutral zone was respected. I mean, you couldn't line up on the ball.
There was a period of space.
There's a little DMZ you had to stay out. But now, I mean, they'll put their hand right, like if the ball is right on the yard line, I've seen guys put their hands right on that yard line. I mean, literally even with the ball. But last night, again, a defensive end's hand and a receiver's foot were on the opposite sides of each other. So somebody had to be offsides. They never call it.
There wasn't any. No, I have to notice that more. There wasn't any controversial play or calls, was there? I mean, I know the touchdown, but I think that was close enough. I don't think if you're a Niners fan, you can't feel screwed.
And I think they would have gone on fourth and an inch. They would have gone and probably gotten it. So no, I don't think there was. I don't think so. What do we got? We got many
No
more.
better. Well, Ryan keeps commenting, which is cool. No better.
Yeah, people with
No
comments.
better pictures than Patrick Mahomes and his dad in twins uniforms, and Patrick's a toddler.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know,
I do like those pictures.
He wasn't born here, but he did probably live here as a little kid for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Did you know him? Were you part of the?
I knew Patrick Sr. I was still working with the Twins when Patrick Mahomes got called up. Ryan, my buddy Ryan, the new clutch man in the NFL is Mahomes. Well, it looks that way. It definitely looks that way. I mean, I wonder if quarterbacks ever come back from 3 double-digit deficits in a postseason like that before.
No.
It's got to be first.
I think they said it last night.
Oh, did they?
But do you think that Mahomes does have a little bit of risk that RG3 had? Is he going to get out there in space more than he should and take those hits?
Well, I don't know that's the risk. Patrick Mahomes' ability,
he doesn't have to.
His success is reliant on an incredible arm. I mean, he can, like when he rolls right, like when most quarterbacks roll right, all of a sudden half the field's out of play. You can't throw back to the left sideline, but he can. When he rolls right, the whole field is still in play. That's what makes him so dangerous. Yeah, he can be on the run and make a ridiculous throw to a spot on the field that another quarterback can't even comprehend getting the football to. So to do that, he's got to have a freakish arm, and I do believe quite a bit in genetics. I was working for the Twins when Patrick Mahomes got called up, and I remember when he got called up, how excited everybody was. The scouting report on him was that he was like a young Dwight Gooden. I mean, the cherry Coke. Yeah, he just had such a live fastball that he's going to approach mid to upper 90s, and this is back in a day when they didn't juice the radar guns. The radar guns are definitely higher today than they were back then. Like, Nolan Ryan would be, throwing, 95 on a gun, and today it would be 102. I mean, it would be. With all respect to Broodstar, Gratterall, he'd probably be throwing 95 20 years ago on the gun anyway. But anyway, I digress. Everybody was so excited to see this guy come up. Just a great arm, rocket arm. Never really became the pitcher that people thought he would. There's more to it than just being able to throw it through a brick wall, which he could. But to me, the thing with Mahomes is, and it's not that he's not a smart quarterback. He is. He sees the field. He makes reads, and he makes reads that other quarterbacks don't make because he has the ability to get the ball to somebody that another quarterback doesn't have the ability to get the ball to. But if he gets to a point in his career, which he will, where his body is not limber enough to be running one way and throw it this way, or if he ever has any elbow trouble that takes any zip off the ball, that's going to his abilities are largely physical. Yeah.
That's why I bring it up, because that's not.
It's not necessarily the mobility or the running. I mean, he gets out there and runs, but no more than Aaron Rodgers. He
took a hit yesterday.
And that's what I respect, though. You get to the Super Bowl. There comes a time where you might have to put your.
But you don't do that in Game 4.
But see, that's the thing. I mean, I'll never forgive Cam Newton for getting to the Super Bowl and there's a fumble.
He stood there.
He just stood there. I still don't know how to this day he didn't get torn to shreds for it. I mean, it's just the ball's just sitting on the ground.
Was that in the Super Bowl?
Yes, against Denver, and it was in the closing minutes, down by 1 score, with the chance to go down and win the game, and he fumbles the snap, and he just stands there, and looks at it. Well, Denver jumps on it. I mean, you get to the Super Bowl, sometimes you got to be a little more aggressive and a little more.
Yes, there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. So that was so Mahomes. My point being, obviously, if he goes out of a game, they don't have a chance. In the Super Bowl, you think that'd pretty much be it. But there comes a time it's like, okay, you know what? This is a big game. I got to put my shoulder down. I got to absorb this hit. It is what it is. But
we should wrap it up.
Yeah,
we're at 33 minutes. And
we should.
Now we can. Next week we can talk about something besides football. I don't know what. Go for hoops, which they ain't looking too good.
Well, you know what? I'm going to the game Wednesday.
They got to win 7. They got to win 6 out of 9 or 7 out of 9.
Well, I like how their February sets up, because they've got quad 1 games against teams at home that I think they can beat. I think they can beat Iowa. I think they can beat Wisconsin.
They're going to have to beat one of them.
I think they'll beat both of them.
Well, then they're in good shape.
And I'm going to be at the game Wednesday night. I'm
Really?
going to the game. Yep, a belated birthday gift from my mom.
Well,
Going to be at the Gopher Badger game Wednesday night. So I'm
60 seconds.
happy to talk. 57. So anyway, that's going to do it. Yeah, I got to go out and try to find somebody to put my brake pads in. So anything else, Gobi? No.
Yeah, check out findinggobi.com. I'll get more on a Gobi sponsorship here in the next few weeks. I'll put something together. I don't know what, but we'll
All right.
do something else. But yeah, check out findinggobi.com and give me a call if you want some help with communication in your company.
And I know folks watch this on Facebook Live. That's what we're doing it on right now. Later today, you can also get just the audio version on Spreaker, and you'll also get a YouTube version, which is the exact same as this version, only from YouTube, hence the name.
Yeah. Peace out.